Okay, stop. Now listen, all right, here we go. We're going to talk a little bit. I am going to stun you with regards to the books that you read, all right? Just, no, don't panic. The books and videos that will actually change the way you think about economics, okay? Now, we're going to talk about this, right? What is the problem with economics books currently, okay? Most economics books that get recommended to the students are either too basic or too technical. Either way, they might talk down to you or assume that you've got the PhD. Today, I'm cutting through that. We're going to look at 3 books, talk about 3 videos, all chosen because they genuinely change how you might think about economics. So stick around because there's a lot to talk about. Here we go, okay? Not just adding more facts to your pile, okay? Here we go. Book 1. There's a book called Power and Progress. It's by a guy called Darren Acemoglu and Simon Johnson. Now, Darren got a Nobel Prize, all right, relatively recently. Okay, he is one of the most cited economists alive. He won the Nobel Prize in economics in 2024, and his work on institutions and growth is quite important, particularly in the IB curriculum. The book's big idea: technology doesn't automatically benefit workers. Whether technological progress is good or bad for most people depends on who controls it. Is it 6 or is it 7? All right? And how institutions then respond to it. So think about that. We often assume that productivity enhancing technology is a net positive. Everyone benefits eventually. The authors argue that that is historically contingent. All right? Have a think. The Industrial Revolution, it made some people very, very rich. Others were still in grinding poverty for decades. The question isn't whether technology increases output, it's who captures that gain. For IB students, this directly feeds into your work with regards to supply-side economics, with regards to income distribution, the economics of automation. The section on why GDP doesn't capture the benefits from growth is immediately applicable to development economics and the content therein. Teaching application, use this, reframe the idea of automation in the classroom. Not will AI create or destroy jobs, but who will benefit from AI productivity gains and what actually determines that. You can get free excerpts from this book, all right? Just the first chapter. If it doesn't change how you think about technology and economics, come back and tell me I was wrong. All right, here we go. Book 2. This one's different. This is called the Economics, the User's Guide. It's good. It is by, again, author name, Ha-Jun Chang. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. I apologize. He was a Cambridge economist, possibly the most entertaining economics writer alive. That's debatable. His big idea in this particular book is that there's no single idea of economics. There are 9 competing schools of economic thought, each one with legitimate insights and real blind spots. There are 9 schools, not one. All right? Most economics education tends to bundle economics up as one single discipline with a core consensus and some outliers, right? Chang says that's not accurate. You've got your neoclassical views. You've got Keynesian, behavioralist, institutionalists, Marxist, Austrians. They aren't fringe alternatives to real economics. They're all actually legitimate ways of analysing economic phenomenon. Each useful in certain contexts but limited in others. So why does this matter for you? Because the IB guide has an explicit call for multiple perspectives, meaning you're actually supposed to be doing that, considering how the different economic schools analyze the same problem. Chang gives you this toolkit, okay? Teaching application from there, right? Mapping your current economics curriculum against Chang's schools of thinking. I bet what most of us teach is neoclassical with some Keynesian additions. Which perspectives in that case are actually absent? Good old TOK question. What would an institutionalist say about the current case study? What would a behavioural economist add to this discussion? All right. There are again some free chapter summaries widely available. You just got to look for them. It is great for teacher professional development and genuinely readable for motivated students. What other things can we consider? Let's have a look at a video, all right? There are some videos about why economists get things wrong, okay? There's a channel about unlearning economics, all right? This is where I've got some ideas and some thinking from. It does something unusual. It takes academic economics and makes it perhaps more accessible. It is specifically a masterclass in critiquing the models, examining why mainstream economic models have systematic blind spots. For IB students, watch this before you write any evaluation about the limits of economic modelling. It'll give you 3 or 4 specific critiques that you can deploy with genuine understanding, not just parroted phrases. For teachers, it's a high quality introduction to why model critique matters. It is also directly applicable to a TOK economics crossover, right? Those discussions that the IB requires, okay? What else could we look at? Let's have another look, another video. Here we go. The geography of poverty. There are a number of these videos online, all right? And 1 or 2 you can look at and can talk about development economics, which can be very theoretical. It can be quite solid and chunky as a part of the curriculum. This economics geography of poverty videos will make it feel urgent and real. There is visual storytelling, real footage exploring why some places are poor and others are rich, and how geography, history, and institutions all interact to produce some radically different outcomes. What is our application for IB? Well, it's development economics, right? It should then become more real after watching this. Any of our abstract models about poverty traps, structural barriers, institutional failures, they become things then that you've seen, not just concepts that you've read about, read about. There is a genuine data interrogation opportunity here. Watch the video, identify the explanatory variables highlighted, and ask what's actually being left out. What would a different economic perspective emphasize? What data could be brought in to challenge the narrative? That's an evaluation. You can watch them. Some of them are 15 minutes long, right? You can cap and create genuine analytical content. What other things can you look at? You can either read or look at behavioral economics, and there are some good ones, like Dan Ariely, okay? Again, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing the name correctly. Right? His behavioral economics work, if you've never encountered behavioral economics properly, it's a good starting point. For IBHL students, behavioral economics is explicitly in your curriculum. Ariely is the gateway drug. After his videos that he talks about bounded rationality, cognitive biases, nudge theory. They'll all make sense, not just as definitions to reproduce, but as genuine insights into how people actually behave. Right? If you're in IGCSE, the context of those videos will make every consumer behavior question easier to reason about. Here's the thing about all of these resources. None of them are going to give you marks directly. None of them replace your IB or IG syllabus and specifications. What they can do is change the quality of your thinking, and a changed thinking shows up in your writing, and better writing is what's going to get you the marks. The students who score at that top end for IB economics aren't the ones who've memorized the most. They're the ones who've thought the most. They've thought about the real life applications, about what economics actually means and where it fails. These are resources to get you there. All right, I'm David. This is our Economics Disrupted channel. I am also known as Econ Teach NZ. Which of these resources are you interested in watching or reading? All right? If you have already encountered those, tell me what you thought. Maybe you agree with my thoughts. Maybe you don't. All right? So, like, comment, subscribe. Please, it helps with the algorithm. Which book, which video are you going to add to your list? Or which other book would you recommend to me for me to read or for me to share to the world? Thank you very much. Hei kōnei rā, have a fantastic day.